Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. Today we are doing a reaction video to my 2021 goals. So I made this video last year on January 1st, 2021, and I want to go through and see which of my goals I completed and which ones I did not, and just kind of react to my video. Even though I've only made a few videos in 2021, I do want to see like the difference in my demeanor, my setup, all of that stuff. So I'm gonna play my video from last year and I will pause it at different points to react to it and also tell you guys like any updates, how I did with these goals, and also at the end we will talk about some of my goals for 2022. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel and Happy New Year! It's January 1st, 2021 has begun, 2020 has ended, thank God. And we're here to start a new year. I really did think that 2021 was going to be better than 2020. I guess it was in some ways, but yeah, I don't think that at the end of 2020 people were expecting, I certainly wasn't expecting COVID to be continuing on, going into the third year of COVID. So I don't know, that's like my initial reaction of, I was like, yay, starting a new year, but then 2021 was also a very difficult year, so that's kind of funny. I have spent a lot of time the last week or so thinking about my goals for this year and planning how I want to achieve them. And I wanted to tell you guys about that today. Sean's sister got me this fantastic planner for Christmas, and I have been using it to write down a lot of my goals and intentions and self-care routines and things for the coming year. So that's what I have in front of me that I'm gonna read from. Okay, I feel like, I don't know if I still talk like this, maybe you guys can tell me, but one thing I'm noticing right away is I feel like my demeanor and like the way that I speak to the camera has really improved over the last year. I think like in this video you can tell that I'm like really nervous and I don't know what to say and I'm trying to sound like good for the camera, and now I think I just speak a lot more naturally. So that's cool. I mean, it's cool to see myself growing like that. So I sort of broke down my goals into categories. So different things from my personal life, my financial goals, my career, professional goals, my goals for my relationship, all these different sort of categories. So I find it really helpful to think in those terms when making goals of all the different areas of your life and things you can improve. I still do this. I kind of break things down by categories, which we'll get into at the end. However, in general, my approach to my goals or resolutions or whatever for 2022 is more so like keep doing what I'm doing. I think that, I don't know, the whole new year, new me, it's kind of a joke, it's a meme, but like, I think the best thing that anyone can do, at least for me, is to just keep doing what you're doing. Like, there's habits that I've formed over the last year that I want to continue, that I want to solidify. There's new things that I want to try to pick up, but I don't want to do too much all at once. So it's not like a whole new year, new me thing. It's just like new year, slightly improved version of me, a little bit at a time. So my first category of goals is things for my job and career. So I'm kind of at a weird in-between stage in terms of a career. I have a degree in liberal arts, which I love. I'm happy that I did it, but it's not one of those degrees that's really easy to track yourself like straight into a particular job from that. So yeah, not at all. The job that I have now, which I did not have at the time of filming this last year, I started working for this company in February, so 2 months after this video. It has nothing to do with my degree at all. And it's also something that I never thought that I would do. So I don't know, just brief interlude to say that, like, my liberal arts degree, it's great to have a degree, but I imagine that throughout the rest of my life and different career paths that I may go down, it's gonna be less to do with the fact that my degree is in liberal arts or philosophy and way more to do with the fact that I have a degree of some kind, which I knew when I got the degree, but just saying. I graduated college a year and a half ago and I'm still trying to figure out like what a career is for me. So one thing that I have in my mind, probably not this year, but in the coming few years, is that I might want to return to school and do an MFA in directing theater. Yes, so this is something that I still kind of want to do. I think it really just depends on how everything is going. So if I continue to enjoy working at my current job and I want to stay for years, I'll stay with them. If I start getting really back into the theater scene and I want to do theater, maybe I'll like meet the right people and be in the right place at the right time, and I won't need that degree in order to start directing. But if it seems like something that will benefit my career, I will absolutely go back to school and do an MFA. But in the meantime, I've been doing a lot of work as a freelancer for small businesses. So I create websites, I help them manage their Shopify, manage their Instagram, do all sorts of like little odd tasks for small businesses, and I really enjoy doing that. So I have one project that I'm working on now, and I have some leads for additional projects I want to pursue. So as soon as Monday hits and everyone's back to work and back to life after the holidays, I'm going to start reaching out to some people that I think might want to work with me to market myself and see if they want to take me on as a freelancer, and I can take them on as a client. So that is one of my big goals this year, is to really pursue freelance and do that in a meaningful way and in a financially sustainable way. I will go back and get a regular job if I need to, but I needed to. I really enjoyed freelancing. I had many different freelance jobs over the last year. And then when I started working for the company I work for now, I kind of dropped off from freelancing because I literally do not have the time. I actually have a freelance project inquiry right now that I'm going to turn down because I don't have time and I don't love it the way that I used to. Like, I think a lot of the work that I was doing in the past year was like, I really loved the clients, or they were people that I knew really well. And I just don't feel the same sort of passion for freelancing and like doing the work that I was doing as I used to, which is sad to say, but like it's not to say it'll never come back. It's just that I think that I need to be like really excited about the project in order for me to like really get into it and complete it on time and do a great job and all of that stuff. Like, it's really hard for me to stay attentive to a project when I don't love what I'm doing and I don't know the person really well that I'm working for. So yeah, I got a regular job and I love my regular job. Do one of my other goals, which is to really continue with my YouTube channel and try to grow my channel and commit to creating content for it. So my goal is to make one video a week for all of 2021. That did not happen. I tried in the beginning. I think I did pretty well last year, like in the month of January. And then I made my Charlottesville thrift guide video, which did really well. It was like a really complex, long video. And then after that is around the time that I started working for Cadence, where I work now, and totally fell off. Like, I filmed some stuff and then I didn't upload it for a long time. I was traveling a lot. Like, I just have not had the time in the last year to work on YouTube the way that I wanted to. Also, like, Sean and I split up, which we will touch on later in this video. So yeah, like last year was very tumultuous and like I didn't have a proper schedule or proper timelines to keep up with YouTube. So I'm hoping that in 2021, now that I'm really kind of settled in Philadelphia, my apartment is really coming together. By the way, I'm gonna do an apartment tour soon and also show you guys some of the little renovations I've done in this apartment. So subscribe if you want to see those videos. Yeah, now that I'm much more settled in Philly and like my day-to-day life is much more stable, I'm not gonna be traveling as much this year, I should be able to get back into YouTube. So I think a realistic goal for me for 2021 is to make 1 to 2 videos a month. I'm not going to pressure myself to do one a week because I think the pressure will just kind of turn me off from doing it at all. So I'm going to tell myself I'm going to do 1 to 2 videos a month, and then if I do more, that's great. Eventually I would like to ramp it back up where it's like a regular thing. But for now, I'm just going to keep the bar reasonable. Not low, not high, just reasonable. And 1 to 2 videos a month feels like that for me. My videos have been a little bit sporadic. Obviously, Vlogmas was kind of a failure. Like, I didn't follow through with Vlogmas. I just got too busy doing my freelance projects and the holidays, and my sister got married, and you know, all these things were going on. So I wasn't able to complete Vlogmas. But this year, I really want to commit to doing 1 video a week. I think that should be manageable, and really growing my channel and taking time to work on this channel because I love doing it. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I do love doing it. I am having fun with it. I just need to incorporate it into my regular routine. Just something I struggled with last year, and we'll see how it goes for this year. And I think it would be cool if it could grow into something that more people see and watch, and something that I get better at doing. My second category for goals that I'm working on is mental health. So This year in 2020, went back to therapy. I've been in and out of therapy at different times throughout my life, and honestly never really got a lot out of it. I don't think I was working with the right therapist. I don't think I was really in a headspace where I was ready to change anything or learn anything. So I am now, and I'm really, really excited to keep working with my therapist. I've been seeing her for about a month now. I really like her. Okay, this therapist that I was working with at that time, I liked her at the time, but as I continued working with her, I really started to kind of like divide with her on a lot of things. Like she was kind of pushing me, or like I almost felt like talking me into doing things that I really wasn't comfortable with or that I didn't agree with. How I handled my relationship, or things that I should say, or things that I should do. One thing that I think was really like the reason that it did not work out with that therapist was that she was not an eating disorder specialist, and that's really what I needed. So, shortly after I filmed this video, actually, that therapist dropped me as a client. She told me that she thought that I was not ready to work on my issues. I wasn't trying hard enough. Like, she said, I haven't hit rock bottom yet, and she can't help me until I hit rock bottom. And then she kind of dropped me as a client, which really upset me at the time that that happened. But she was really not the right therapist for me. And I think once she and I stopped working together, I was able to reflect and like see all the things that like I didn't really agree with, or things that I wasn't feeling right about. And she was just not the right person for me. So I'm happy to say that in the last year, I have found a new therapist who I absolutely love. I have never made the type of progress that I'm making until I started working with her. And then I'm also working with a nutritionist. So the two of them are actually friends in real life, and they work together like professionally and hung out personally in real life as people. So it's really cool that I get to work with them because they both know each other really well. They both know me really well, and they're able to communicate with me and with each other about what would be best suited to help me. So I absolutely love both of them. It's amazing. I feel like I've made so much progress on my mental health and my eating disorder recovery this year, more than any other time in my life, which feels amazing. And I cannot wait to keep working on that in 2022. The next thing on my list, kind of related to what I was just saying about mental health, is physical health. So, part of what I'm working with my therapist on is regulating my eating, regulating my sleep schedule. Hi, Coral. I'm really trying to regulate my eating schedule, my sleep schedule, my exercise schedule. Like, all these things have been totally out of whack. A lot because of 2020. I think everyone's sort of feeling that way, but I really want to work on finally having schedules and things in order and just making that part of my life a lot less chaotic. That did not really happen this year. I mean, it's kind of starting to. Now that I have a more traditional, like, 9 to 5 job, my day is kind of segmented. You know, like, I wake up around the same time. I do my work day. I have my regular meetings and stuff during the work day. I have my projects that I'm doing at work that I'm familiar with. And then I have my evening routine. So I kind of have a more structured life than I did at this time. However, it could use some work. So that's another thing I want to work on in 2022 is like really solidifying a solid like night routine, morning routine, making time to take breaks, to eat meals, which is something I've always struggled with. Going to bed at the same time, getting enough sleep, getting 10,000 steps a day, you know, like building some more sustainable habits. Like I think that in 2021, I built the framework for this, but now in 2022, I really need to put the details into practice and figure out what those details are in a way that's not aspirational, just realistic, and do it one step at a time. So work on one thing at a time as to not get overwhelmed with it. So that's what I'm doing this year. My next category is my relationship with Sean. So, well, we all know what happened to that one. I'm gonna go into more detail in this video, I guess, but like, yeah, I had high hopes for my relationship with Sean, obviously. Like, I thought we were gonna stay together. I thought that everything was going really well, and it really wasn't. I think that us breaking up was really the right thing, but it is kind of interesting to look back on this video when like he was such a big part of my life, like he was like a whole section of my goals, and now that I'm on my own again, it's very different. It's very different. That's all I can say about that. The last big category for my goals this year is the financial category. So this is a big goal, but I really, really, really want to pay off my student debt this year. I think I looked at the numbers, I broke it down. Okay, so let's talk about my debt. I think I'm about to go into this about like the numbers and stuff. Last year, I had about $12,000-ish remaining of my debt. I decided during the pandemic, because all the payments were suspended, instead of making payments, even though I've been like saving up money to make payments, instead of like making the payments and just giving that money to the government when I don't have to, what I've been doing instead is keeping all of it, setting it aside in an account that is supposed to be used for my debt repayment. However, I'm keeping it because if I have an emergency in the meantime, it kind of serves as an emergency fund. So that's what I've done the past year. So last year I had about $12,000 left to pay on my debt. I have saved up all but like $1,000 or $1,500 of that. So I'm getting so close to being able to be completely debt free. I kind of go back and forth about whether I want to like start making payments again because I've saved up such a huge chunk. Like maybe I could pay half or something, but like I think I'm just gonna keep following the same strategy until I have it all completely saved up plus an extra emergency fund so that when I pay it off, I still have, plenty of emergency fund remaining. But yeah, like I did not accomplish this year, but I am getting super close. And the fact that Biden just moved back the payment restart date into May just makes me feel like, it's not a rush. It's not like I'm losing anything. I'm not paying any interest in this meantime. So I'm just going to work my way up to saving up everything I need to save and pay it off before the payment period restarts. I would love to do it by my birthday, which is in February, but I'm not going to put too much pressure on myself to do it. I just want to do it before it starts to negatively affect me again, meaning before interest payments restart again. So that's a plan for this year with my debt. Honestly, above everything else, that will be one of the biggest accomplishments of the year if I can pay off my debt, because I feel like look at my face. I'm like dreaming of the day that I'll pay my debt off, and I still really feel that way. Like I'm going to cry, I'm going to freak out, I'm going to panic. By the way, if anyone has ever followed Asia Dang or seen her video where she pays her debt off, I'll link it down below because that's something that has really inspired me to like get this out of my life. She has a video clip where she calls them and she's talking to them on speakerphone and she's like, I just want to confirm that my debt is now paid off. Like she makes her last payment and the lady on the phone is like, yes, you are debt free. And she's like, thank you. And then she hangs up and then she immediately starts crying. Like that's me. That's going to be me. And I can't wait for that day. I cannot wait to cry about my debt being paid off. It's coming. It'll be this year and I'm going to film it. So those are all my big goals for this coming year. I do have a couple of goals that are sort of tentative, like it depends on a lot of things whether this will happen. So it could happen this year, it could be a longer term goal, but those two big things are, number one, I really want to foster kittens. So I'm thinking that when we move, we're probably moving in March or April. So I did foster kittens this year. Fostering was something that like I was always way more into than Sean was into, like the idea of having foster kittens. And he was just kind of like not that into it. So after we split up, one of the first things I did after he and I split up was sign up to foster kittens. I only had one pair of kittens, so I've only done it one time. This was back in Charlottesville, but I loved them so much. I only had them for about a week because they were ready to be adopted. They were already old enough to be adopted. So I only had them for about a week, but it was such a great experience. It's definitely something I want to get back into doing in Philadelphia. I don't know if I can do it in this apartment because this apartment is very small and I don't know if I would have a place to keep Coral separated from the kittens, but I was so happy that I got to foster kittens. It like brought so much joy into my life. I think my plan for fostering next time is that I do want to get another cat eventually, so I will probably try to foster like a group of like 3 or 4 kittens and maybe choose one of them to keep and then the other ones would be adopted out. So that way I can get a sense of like different personalities and like which one do I think we get along with Coral the best and all of that stuff. So yeah, I did foster kittens last year and it was amazing. I really hope that I can do it again. And the other thing is I really want to become a member of Casa. So Casa stands for Court Appointed Special Advocates. I did! Oh my god, you guys! I signed up for Casa when I moved to Philadelphia. So I think I'm about to explain this in the video, but I'll just explain it real quick here. Casa stands for Court Appointed Special Advocates, and it's like a program where you have extensive training. I have to do 30 hours of training before I can actually work with a kid. So you are extensively trained, and then you get matched up with a child who is in foster care. It can be one child or it can be a sibling group who are all in the same sort of situation. So they have all been removed from their home because of either abuse or neglect, or their parents are incarcerated or something like that. While they're in foster care, the idea is that they have a lot of different people coming in and out of their life. So they have different foster homes, they're changing schools, they have different doctors, lawyers, social workers, like all these people coming in and out of their life. And their Casa person is their one person who is with them through the whole thing. So the average length of a case is about 2 years long, which is why I had never been able to join Casa before. But now that I'm settled in Philly and I know that I'm going to be here for at least 2 years, I was able to sign up. I have my first training at the beginning of January. I'm super excited to start working with these children. This is such an amazing program, and they have it all over the country. So wherever you are, check if there's a Casa group in your area. Maybe you can join. Definitely something to look into. It's kind of a first step for people that may be interested in fostering children, which is something that I'm interested in for the future as well. See if it's in your area and definitely sign up or like tell somebody about this, because I don't think enough people know about Casa, and it's an amazing program. So I'm super happy that I did accomplish that goal and was able to join. So yes, those are all of my goals for this year and a little bit beyond. Thank you guys so much for watching. Okay, so that was my video last year. I think that really covers like a lot of stuff that I'm continuing to work on for this year. The only other things that I didn't really mention, obviously last year I didn't have the job that I have now, so I have some professional goals at my job. I really want to get promoted this year and I want to get another raise. So I have a lot of like goals that I set for myself from 6 months from my last review. So I'm going to be working on those things. I really want to start working more with the other offices. So my office is based out of San Francisco, and then we just opened a new office in Philly. We have an office in Boston and one in London as well as like all over the world, but those are the ones we work with mainly. So I want to do some more work like in between the other offices because they don't really have a dedicated marketing person. We have a global marketing person, but she doesn't do a lot of the US stuff. Like that's mainly on me and the graphic designer. So I'm really excited to start doing more interdepartment kind of work with my company. I've been seeing a new guy in Philadelphia, so I just hope that that continues to go well, just kind of cultivating that relationship and seeing what happens with that. I will be continuing to decorate my apartment, and I will show all of that to you guys soon enough. Other than that, I'm just gonna continue doing what I've been doing. Going to therapy, getting my steps in, trying to eat planned meals, trying to go to sleep at the right time, trying to get enough sleep, and just take care of myself one step at a time. That's really all I can do. So yeah, that's about it for my 2022 goals. I guess maybe next year we can look back and see what I've accomplished from last year. But this is my first reaction type video. I thought this was kind of a fun way to learn something new with editing. And I really hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you did, make sure to subscribe to my channel and leave a like. It really helps my channel out as I'm trying to grow. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a great end of the year and a great start to 2022. Bye everyone.